All right, good evening. I'll call to order the Murray City Planning Commission meeting for Thursday, March 6th, 2025 at 6:30 p.m. Present this evening are Commissioners Pete Haristro to my right, Ned Hacker to my left, Katie Rogers also to my right, Peter Kling, and myself, Michael Richards. Excused tonight is Jake Pearson and Aaron Hildreth. And from staff, I did that in the pre-meeting. From staff, we have Zach Smallwood, David Rogers, and Ruth Ruach. And Mark Richardson, our legal, is sitting right there. A couple reminders: if you have a cell phone, please silence it. And this meeting is being recorded for public record. So we're grateful to have you here tonight and participating in these meetings. It's always good to have some people here. Some etiquette items to review. When the time comes to make a comment on an agenda item, we ask that you speak at the microphone for the recording. And we also ask that you state your name and your address for the minutes. Please try and limit your time to 3 minutes. Once the item you are here for is over, you are welcome to leave. We just ask that you do it quietly so that we can continue with our remaining items. If you're viewing this meeting online on the live stream, the only way to make a public comment is to email the Planning Commission at murray.utah.gov. Unfortunately, if you post a comment on Facebook or YouTube, it won't be seen. All right, so jumping into the agenda, the first agenda item is approval of the minutes for the Planning Commission meeting held on Thursday, February 20th, 2025. Has everyone had an opportunity to review the minutes?
Yes.
Are there any changes that we need to make?
No.
The ones we talked about in the pre-meeting, okay. So I'll ask for a motion then.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Okay. So we have a motion from Commissioner Kling and a second from Commissioner Haristo to approve the minutes on February 20th, 2025. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, the minutes have been approved. Agenda item number 2, are there any conflicts of interest for the agenda items tonight?
No.
Okay. And then approval of findings of fact. Has everyone had an opportunity to review the findings of fact?
Yes.
Are there any changes or corrections?
No.
Okay, I'll ask for a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion that the Plan Commission approve finding of facts and conclusions for Black Knight Armory, major home occupation, and the Gulf Cove conditional use permits as presented.
Thank you. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion from Commissioner Hacker and a second from Commissioner Rogers to approve the findings of fact for Braden Chipman, major home occupation, and the Gulf Cove conditional use permit. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, the findings of fact have been approved. Moving right along, let's go to agenda item number 4, which is our first project of the night, and that is going to be reviewed by Ruth.
Thank you, Commissioners. So here we have a application for a conditional use permit for an escape or puzzle room entertainment business located at 635 West, 5300 South, Suite 301. So here's a location of the site. It is going to take up an existing building, the Riverview office building, and the unit will be about 1,400 square feet, and it sits on a 1.39 acre site, and it's highlighted here in blue. It's located in the CD zone, the commercial development zone, and its neighboring properties are also zoned for CD with some residential properties nearby. So here are the floor plans provided by the applicant, and the unit for the business is highlighted, and you'll see that the building itself won't change very much, and the applicant proposes using these 2 rooms as escape rooms. And for access and parking, so the subject property can be accessed from Allendale Drive and from 700 West, and the total number of required parking stalls is 20, and the site has adequate parking, so staff does not anticipate any issues with parking. And 12 notices for this meeting was sent to the public, and staff has not received any comments. And so based on analysis of the conditional use permit application, staff finds that the proposed use for an escape or puzzle room entertainment business is allowed in the CD zoning district subject to conditional use permit approval, and with conditions the proposed use and property will comply with the standards of the Murray City Land Use Ordinance, and the proposed use is not contrary to the goals and objectives of the Murray City General Plan in this area. And so with that, staff recommends that the Planning Commission approve a conditional use permit to allow an escape room entertainment business at this property, subject to these 3 conditions. And happy to take any questions.
Thank you, and I failed to ask if the applicant was here. Awesome, thank you. So is there any discussion amongst the commissioners? All right, can the applicant please come to the podium? And please state your name and your address.
Hannah Tucker, and my home address is it the home address? Oh.
It can be home.
Oh. I guess I shouldn't say that. 2251 West Bonanza Court in South Jordan, 84095.
Thank you. Have you had an opportunity to review the conditions? Are you able to comply with them?
Yes.
Awesome, thank you. Is there any additional information you'd like to provide the commission?
Not at this time.
Okay, awesome, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, so I'll now open up the meeting for a public comment. And again, if you'd like to make a public comment, you can do so at the podium. Please state your name and your address and keep your time to 3 minutes. So I'll open it up for public comment, if there is any. Do we have any emails? All right, seeing none, I'll close the public comment and see if there's any additional discussion amongst the commissioners.
Nope.
Okay, pretty easy tonight.
I did want to ask a
Yeah,
little
yeah.
bit about what is the escape room and the puzzle aspect of it? You mentioned that in your application. I was just curious about.
So like,
What
You
it
just-
is, and yeah, just get an idea.
so you have just puzzles in the room that people have to solve in order to escape or come to a certain conclusion, depending on what the room is about. We don't lock the doors, and they can still get out if they need to. But did you want to know our theme or?
Well, sure, if you
Or-
want to just describe the theme. I was also curious if you've done this before, or if this is.
No, I've just been to a lot of them, and
Okay.
I just like them.
So you're really good at them then?
I'm not real good, but
You're an escape artist, right?
if I have help, I can escape. So,
So what is the theme? What is the theme?
well, for one of our rooms, we wanted to Hansel and Gretel.
Pardon me?
Hansel and Gretel escape room. You gotta
Okay.
escape the witch,
Yeah.
the witch's hut. So,
Well, thank you. That was great. I just wanted to get a little more context for what it is.
oh, okay.
Maybe I'll go. So, we'll see.
Oh, awesome.
He wouldn't get out.
Yeah.
I wouldn't get out.
You have
I
to
couldn't
use your
figure out the
brain.
puzzle.
You guys are all invited, so.
Thank you.
All right, if there isn't additional discussion, I'll ask for a motion.
Chair, I'll make a motion that the Planning Commission approve the conditional use permit to allow an escape puzzle room entertainment business at the property addressed 635 West, 5300 South, Suite 301, subject to the conditions set forth in the presentation.
Thank you. We have a motion from Commissioner Haristo. to approve a conditional use permit to allow an escape puzzle room entertainment business at the property address 635 West, 5300 South, Suite 301, subject to the following three conditions. Do I have a second?
Mr. Chairman, I will second the motion.
Thank you. Any discussion on the motion? No? All right, let's take a roll call. A vote.
I'm assuming you wanted me to do it, yes? Okay. Commissioner Hursto,
Yes?
Commissioner Kling,
Yes.
Commissioner Rogers,
Yes.
Commissioner Hacker,
Yes.
and Chair Richards.
Yes. Thank you, Zach. Congratulations. Good
Good
luck on
luck.
your project. All right. Agenda item number 5. Okay. Is
I'm sorry.
the Burger Station subdivision and Burger Place vacation. Is the applicant here? Awesome. And just one second. Yeah, all right, so, and Zach is going to present this one.
Yes. Thank you, Chair. This is a request from Mr. Shoup, Jared Shoup, for an extension of a subdivision approval for the Burger Station subdivision and the vacation of the Burger Place condo subdivision. So you can see on the screen here, it is made up of a handful of parcels. I want to call out specifically this parcel that I've highlighted here on the left-hand side of your screen. This is the condoed subdivision. So you can see there's a unit here on the south side and then one to the north. So that will be vacated and, and included as part of the subdivision. It's in the MCMU zone, which is our Murray Central Mixed Use Zone. The commission, most of the commission would remember that there was a project exactly a year ago, tomorrow, that this was approved for a residential and small commercial project that encompasses this property, and they needed to do this subdivision to consolidate all those properties and also get a secondary access, which will come off Commerce Drive, just right here behind the building on the left-hand side. So there's not much to this. This was approved back on March 7th of 2024. So all this is, Mr. Shoup is just awaiting a final approval from Salt Lake County. And once that's done, then the engineer will be able to sign off and say, go print the subdivision, and then we can do signatures. So we're about there, just waiting on the county. They have had some changes lately that has slowed them down quite a bit in reviewing subdivisions. So we are here just to make sure that we don't run into any issues. So findings, the subdivision is allowed by Utah State Code. And there is good cause for the vacation or amendment, and no public street or municipal utility easement are proposed to be vacated or amended. The proposed subdivision still complies with the MCMU zoning regulations. It also complies with the regulations of Title 16, the subdivision ordinance, and that's silly that I put in the applicable standards of 17.146 because that's what it says in number 3. And then number 5, the Planning Commission initially approved this subdivision on March 7th. So with that, we are recommending that the Planning Commission grant the 1-year time extension, subject to the initial conditions that were listed in the staff report and are on the screen here, 1 through 9. And I'm happy to answer any questions.
Zach, I'm curious, is that, there's an indentation of that parcel, is that another privately held piece of land right there that kind of impinges in the?
It doesn't necessarily impinge, and I think we can let Mr. Shoup speak to it. I don't remember if it was included. They wanted it separated. I don't know if he owns those properties or if it's the other property, but they are excluded from the subdivision.
Okay.
Any other questions? All right, can the applicant please come to the podium and state your name and address?
Jared Shoup, 7927 South Ashley Downs Court, Conwood Heights, Utah, 84093.
Thank you. You had a chance to read the conditions again.
Yes,
Are you still able to comply with them?
we are.
Awesome, thank you. Anything else you want to add?
Any questions? We're like this close to getting the plat signed. It's, as Zach said, it's at Trey Stokes, the city engineer. He sent it to the county, and we're just waiting to hear back, and then we can send it out for signatures.
Super
So,
close.
any
Okay.
questions for me?
How long you been working on this project?
5 years.
Wow.
I bought the old burger piece the fall of 2020, and then the moratorium went into effect, and then all the ordinances changed. It's been a lot of fun.
I bet.
I've gotten to know Zach really well, and
Yes.
Susan, who's now retired, and so, yeah, it's been a process.
Can
Is
you
that other
remind us
parcel-
again how many units to expect there?
Both phases are 423. Well, we are doing it in 2 phases, so phase 1 is 199, and phase 2 is another 224.
Thanks.
What is the layouts, the size of the?
So we have studios, 1s and 2s.
Good, thank you.
Any other questions? All right, thank you.
Thank you.
I will now open up the meeting for a public comment. Yeah, likely not. Okay, so no emails. I don't see any public comment. So I'll go ahead and close the public comment. Is there any other additional discussion amongst the commissioners?
No.
All right, I'll ask for a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that the Planning Commission grant a 1-year time extension vacating Burger Place condominium and grant preliminary and final subdivision approval for the Burger Station subdivision, subject to the original final subdivision approval as outlined in these recommendations 1 through 9.
Thank you. So we have a motion from Commissioner Hacker that that staff recommends granting a 1-year time extension, vacating Burger Place condominium, and grant preliminary and final subdivision approval for the Burger Station subdivision, subject to the original 9 conditions. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, we have a second from Commissioner Haristo. Any discussion on the motion? All right, let's take a roll call vote. Zach?
Perfect. Commissioner Hacker,
Yes.
Commissioner Haristo,
Yes.
Commissioner Rogers,
Yes.
Commissioner Kling,
Yes.
and Chair Richards.
Yes. Thank you. Hopefully it goes quickly now. All right, and then finally tonight, we have a land use amendment, which is a legislative action. Agenda item number 6, Forever in Style. And David is presenting that one. Is the applicant here? I assume you're the applicant. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Commissioners. So this is a land use text amendment, and it's a request to add a land use code, so a land use, to the list of permitted uses in the R&B zone. So our applicant, Mr. Kumpa, owns the dog grooming business Forever in Style and is looking at a site within Murray City. And that site that he's looking at is not within the is within the R&B zone, and this, in dog grooming, is currently not a permitted use within the R&B zone, or a conditional use either. And so staff went back and looked at the zone, looked at what the use is, and determined that we think that dog grooming makes sense in this zone. So dog grooming in our land use code is under 8224, which also includes animal kennels, animal boarding, breeding, training, and grooming, as you can see on the screen in front of you. And it's under the subcategory of animal husbandry services. So the way that our land use code works is there's that general number, 8220, and then all the different subcategories. And so we are looking at adding just 8224 and specifically dog grooming to the R&B code. So these are the red line changes. This is what the code will look like when we've added it to the code. So as you can see, it is 8224, dog grooming only is the language that will be added to the code. So our general plan talks about our residential business zone, and this designation allows for mixed use, attached dwellings, or commercial development within primarily residential neighborhoods that are smaller in scale, has little impact, or provides services for the nearby residential or recreational areas. And specifically, it asks that it will be smaller in scale and similar in scale to nearby residential development. We feel that this use, specifically dog grooming, fits that categorization. So here, this shows kind of the goal of our general plan: to ensure a resilient economy, prepared to handle future change through the support of a strong and diverse tax base for the city. And you can see there's several different subcategories there. And so we believe that adding dog grooming to the R&B zone meets within the goals that our general plan is trying to achieve, and that adding this will fit within the uses and the feel that the R&B zone is looking for. So for a text amendment like this that is citywide, we send notices to affected entities. And basically, affected entities are cities, UDOT, just different entities that also have legal jurisdiction. And as of the date of this presentation, no comments have been received. So our findings: the proposed text amendment promotes flexibility for businesses to encourage more experimental activities as part of their business model. The proposed text amendment has been reviewed to ensure that the health, safety, and general welfare of the community are maintained, and staff finds that continuing to support retail businesses is supported by the general plan. So with our findings and our research into this use, staff recommends the Planning Commission forward a recommendation of approval to the City Council for the proposed amendment to Section 17.140.020, adding Land Use Code 8224, dog grooming only, to the R&B zone as reviewed in the staff report. And to just emphasize, this is an approval to the City Council, so once you guys make a decision tonight, the City Council will then be able to look at this and make a decision as well, whether they want to add this to the City Code or not. And I am happy to take any questions.
Questions for the commissioners?
So, David, on that, so the council has to approve the addition to the code before the applicant can move forward?
That is correct. So you guys are sending a recommendation to the City Council, and then they will need to make an action as well.
Okay. Can the applicant please come to the podium?
Good evening. Name is Jorge Cumpa. Address is 749 North Oakley Street, Salt Lake City, Utah, 84116.
Thank you. Is there anything, any statements you'd like to make?
Nope.
Any questions you have?
Nope.
Awesome. Any questions from the commissioners?
No.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, this is my business partner, by the way. Yeah.
Here, I'll ask a question just to put you on the spot. So where do you plan to put your dog grooming facility?
Where exactly? It's on Winchester Road and 192 West. It's right on the corner by the overpass, kinda.
Uh-huh.
Just
Yeah,
east
good.
of the
It's a good
overpass.
spot.
What kind of building is it that's going to be?
It's an office space right now.
Okay.
It used to be office space, which is empty.
Yes, yeah. So there's plenty of parking associated with it?
There's two sides of the building.
Traffic flow?
Yeah.
Okay. How many clients do you expect to, I don't know, how many?
So we currently have, our business right now is operated on mobile, so we have 3 vans. So we have already a client list based on the city of Murray. So we just want to give our clients options to go either to a brick and mortar and mobile, just because mobile is a little bit more expensive than the brick and mortar. So just being diverse.
Will your mobile vans be parked there too?
No, because They go to the groomer's house. Our
Okay.
groomers keep the vans, yeah.
How many mobile vans do you have?
As of now, 3.
Nice.
Hopefully, we can expand to other cities. But as of now, it's Salt Lake.
How long you been doing this business?
15 months now. Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
It's cool.
Anything else?
No.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, I'll open up the meeting for a public comment. Assume we didn't receive any emails? Okay. Seeing none, I'll close the public comment and bring it back for discussion.
I'll ask Zach a question. So Zach, I think they already have a business license, even though it's a mobile service. Do they have to get different business license to do brick and mortar?
Yes, yeah, they would need to, yeah, anytime there's a location change, they have to redo the business license.
So, presuming that the council approves the zoning change, the applicant will have to come back to review those conditions?
No, so what they would, so because it would be a permitted use, they would just go straight to business licensing. We would review, and then Mark, our code enforcement person, he would go and make sure that they meet all the requirements.
So
for-
they wouldn't have to come back here to
No.
us? Okay, got it. Thanks.
Okay. I'll ask for a motion then.
Chair, I'll make a motion that the Planning Commission forward a recommendation of approval to the City Council for the proposed amendment to Section 17.140.020, adding Land Use Code 8224 as the reviewed in the staff report.
Thank you. We have a motion from Commissioner Rogers that the Planning Commission forward a recommendation of approval to the City Council for the proposed amendment of Section 17.140.020, adding Land Use Code 8224 dog grooming only to the RNB zone as reviewed in the staff report. Do I have a second?
Yeah, I'll second it.
Thank you. I have a second from Commissioner Kling. Any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, I will ask for a roll call vote. David?
Commissioner Rogers,
Yes.
Commissioner Klink,
Yes,
Commissioner Hacker,
Yes.
Commissioner Haristo,
Yes.
Chair Richards.
Yes. Awesome, thank you.
good luck.
I guess that's it, other than, do we have any announcements and questions?
We will have a meeting on the 20th. It's just gonna be a discussion item the whole night, for the form-based code. So, we will get that out to you, here, yeah,
So
next
plan
week.
3 to 4 hours, we're gonna have dinner.
Yeah, right? Yeah, we're gonna have lots. So, yeah, I hope it's a good discussion. Like Chad said in the pre-meeting, this is really the big time where you guys can put in a lot of.
So this is gonna be fairly
feedback.
comprehensive?
It's
Zach?
very comprehensive.
So we're gonna get like a huge electronic packet?
A couple.
No paper.
Should I get a
think-
server?
Yeah,
Should I get
probably.
An AI server?
Yeah, probably.
This?
Yeah, I think at least 100.
It's 106 pages.
106
It's actually not as
pages.
bad as you would think.
Yeah, it's easy to read. There's a lot of graphics in
Will you
it.
give it to us more than a few days ahead?
It'll be a week in advance.
A week in advance,
Yep.
okay.
Yep.
So so that will be a public discussion? Will we-
Yep, we'll be up here. Mark Morris, the consultant, will be up here, and will of course be here. Chair Richards has been on the steering committee for it. So he is well-versed in the code now as well.
More well-versed
Yeah,
now.
more well-versed.
Has this changed a lot from the committee work we did last year or the year before?
That was largely the visioning document, much like kind of Chad mentioned, the general plan, right? That kind of informed the form-based code. The form-based code is now the actual hardline rules.
Okay.
So it'll be more detail.
And so we should plan to be here longer?
It depends on how many questions you guys have, is really kind
Depends
of.
if Jake is here or not.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, the taco carts have been cut down significantly.
We addressed a lot of his questions.
Yeah, we did do a lot of editing based on his conversation.
Was the public invited
For what?
for that meeting?
No, not the steering committee meeting.
No, not
No, but
certain-
are we going to be
next- on the
reviewing?
20th.
Oh, of course, yeah,
Base
it's-
code in
yeah.
public?
So how did the
Okay.
public get invited?
They typically just come just by following the agendas and word of
So
mouth.
our pre-meeting will be the same half hour,
Yes.
sort of, okay, because it sounds like it's fairly comprehensive and involved.
Yeah.
That we're going to be out in the public.
I would
Or
recommend, yeah, that we probably keep a pretty chill pre-meeting, and then we'll have a large discussion here. But I mean, if there's,
Okay.
we'll obviously go over it a little bit, but
Yeah.
the in-depth discussion should probably happen here. It's your only item, so, yeah.
Looking forward to it.
Just weren't, we didn't have any applications, so I was like, this is perfect, because my goal is to actually have it on the public, for a public hearing the following meeting, so April 3rd.
I see.
So,
And what are the steps in that? So would you then,
same
the
thing.
public hearing?
Yep.
Then recommendations to
City
council?
Yep,
Council will
Then-
vote on it? Is that
Correct.
it?
Yep.
Okay, and what is the timeline on that?
That's more difficult, because the city council makes their own schedule. So, I don't get to choose when.
Will that impact any of the, the block one, the point
Oh,
developments and stuff?
No, so the block one, we've actually been very open about the form-based code process. We've sent them drafts as they're doing it, so they've been designing around the form-based code so
Okay.
that it won't become an issue.
Okay,
we-
so it won't be held up?
No,
the Development?
Nope.
Okay.
We do not want it held up.
Do we have stuff in the queue for the following meeting?
Maybe. Yes, I think, yes. Yeah, I think we do
When is
have,
this
yeah.
We
I
have some
gave it to
applications
Zach.
that we're expecting. Like,
Yeah.
we've had conversations with people who have come and indicated they're planning on submitting applications.
Yep.
So depending on when we get them, will be when they go on the agendas.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, and that's about it right now.
Cool. Form-based
All
code.
right. Motion to adjourn, anyone?
I make a motion for the planning commission to adjourn.
Okay, we
Oh,
are
it's
adjourned
7:03 PM.
at 7:03. Thank you.